Okay, so today I'm going to read you a story from Volume 2 of Journey with the Gurus. This is a time when Guru Nanak Sahib Ji went out to share with the world the message that we are all children of Waheguru and that Waheguru lives within us. So sit back, relax, and let's find out what happens when Guruji meets Sajjan. The title of this chapter, Sajjan Transformed. Guruji and Bhai Mardana stayed for a few more months in Saidpur. The people were thrilled. They really liked listening to Guruji's teachings. The evening divans got bigger and bigger as more and more people came to listen to Guruji. One evening, Guruji announced in the divan, "Tomorrow Bhai Mardana and I will leave Saidpur to continue our journey. But you all must continue to meet every evening to sing praises of God." The Sangat could hardly believe what they heard. Many of them sobbed. Bhai Lalo and Malik Pago were shocked. Guruji consoled everyone as best as he could and said he would be back one day. Early next morning, Guruji and Bhai Mardana got ready to leave. Bibi Lajo made special rotis for their journey. Bhai Lalo and Malik Pago walked with them till the end of town. Guruji blessed them both and told them to look after the Sangat and to continue the kirtan every evening. "We promise," they both said with tears in their eyes. Guruji and Bhai Mardana walked along the eastern edge of the river Ravi towards the town of Tumbala. Clouds were dancing, birds were chirping, and the breeze was gentle. Crops of wheat and corn swayed in the wind. The countryside was lined with all kinds of fruit trees. Bhai Mardana plucked a few oranges along the way. Soon they came to a big mansion. It was a very odd-looking building in the middle of nowhere. The mansion had a boundary wall on all four sides. On the left front side of the mansion was a temple with idols of various gods and goddesses, and on the right side there was a mosque. There was a huge courtyard in the middle with many rooms around it. "Guruji, this place looks strange. I don't think we should enter it," said Bhai Mardana nervously. Just then a tall, well-built man with a large face and glittering eyes came running towards them. He was wearing a white dhoti and a kurta, and on his head he wore a turban. With folded hands, he said, "Please come in, please come in. I've made this inn specially for travelers like you. Please consider this your home away from home." Bhai Mardana looked very uncomfortable. Something just wasn't right. He hesitated. Guruji smiled and said, "Come along, Mardana. The man is saying that it is your house. Every house is God's house. If it is not, it will soon be. So, don't worry." "What is your name?" Guruji asked the man. "My name is Sajjan, which means friend. I am everyone's friend," he said in a soft, husky voice. "What is after Sajjan? Are you a Das, Ram, or Lal?" asked Guruji. "Well, I have two names. The Muslims call me Sheikh Sajjan, and the Hindus call me Sajjan Ram. I am servant to both. My left hand does puja and my right hand does namaz. I feel both are same in the eyes of God. That's why I built a temple on the left side of my inn and a mosque on the right side. Both are God's places. Well, here is your room. Please rest, and I will be back soon. It's time for my namaz. They were led into a large room, which was beautifully furnished. The floor was covered with thick carpets. The two beds near the wall had rich bedspreads. It all looked very comfortable and inviting. Guruji, said Pai Mardana softly, as soon as Sajjan left, we should leave this place immediately. I sense great danger here. Guruji smiled. Mardana, you are right in what you are feeling. We'll leave in the morning. Pai Mardana did not look happy, but said nothing. Guruji walked outside and sat under a tree. He saw Sajjan entering the mosque, and then a short while later, Guruji saw him going to the temple. Guruji knew exactly who Sajjan really was. Sajjan was a con man and a thief, but he hadn't always been that way. After he built the inn, he slowly started to change. Whenever someone forgot something at his inn, he kept it as his own. Slowly, he developed the bad habit of stealing. He would sneak into travelers' rooms at night and steal. It was his secret. The people around him still thought that he was a very good man. No one knew the bad things that he was doing. Just a month ago, an elderly couple had come to stay at his inn. Sajjan was attracted to the beautiful gold jewelry that they wore. He quickly started to become very kind and helpful to them. He insisted that they spend a few more days with him. The couple began to trust him. Over the days, Sajjan found out that the couple had no children. He was sure that no one would come looking for them if they went missing. So guess what Sajjan did? He killed them and threw their bodies in a well that was not being used and kept all their gold. And do you know? He was right. No one came looking for the elderly couple. Well, Sajjan was extremely happy today. He was sure that Guruji was a rich man. He could see it on Guruji's face. Only someone carrying a lot of wealth could have that kind of glow, he thought to himself. He could hardly wait for nightfall. He wanted to get his hands on all the money and jewels he believed Guruji had. The sun was beginning to set. He brought a large tray heaped with food and placed it before Guruji and Pai Mardana. Guruji looked at it and told him, I do not wish to eat your food. Sajjan was shocked. Then very sweetly he said, Please, please, don't be superstitious. I am really a Hindu. The food is cooked in the Hindu tradition. It's pure. Please eat it. I built the mosque to keep the rulers of this land happy. Mardana, would you like to eat? Asked Guruji. Guruji, normally I'm always hungry, but today I cannot eat anything, replied Pai Mardana. Sajjan looked very unhappy. I don't like my guests to go hungry. Would you like me to bring you a glass of milk? He asked as he picked up the tray. We don't need anything from you, replied Guruji, watching him leave. Sajjan began pacing in his room. He really wanted Guruji and Pai Mardana to sleep. He could hardly wait to search their bags. He kept going to the window to check if they had gone to their room. Suddenly, he heard music coming from the courtyard. He peeped out of his window. Pai Mardana was playing the rabab, and Guruji was sitting next to him with his eyes closed. Sajjan stood by the window, mesmerized. Something strange was happening within him. The music seemed to pull him out towards the courtyard. Soon he found himself sitting outside. Guruji started to sing a Shabad. Bronze looks bright and shiny, but when it is rubbed, its true black color appears. Even if you clean it 100 times, its impurity cannot be removed. True friends are with me and will always walk with me. They will be successful when we confront our life accounts. Sajjan was listening very carefully to the Shabad. Each word had a mysterious effect on him. He heard Guruji's voice inside him saying, if a person has a hateful mind but puts on an outward show of good deeds, it means nothing. God knows our mind. No one can fool God. By doing bad deeds, a person makes his own mind dirty, and then he suffers. Guruji continued with the Shabad. Houses, mansions, and big buildings look beautiful, but they are hollow from inside and crumble into ruins. Herons with their beautiful white feathers live in holy places, but they kill other living beings, so how can they be called white? The Shabad awakened Sajjan's conscience. All of a sudden, he became very aware of the horror of the many, many bad things he had done. Guruji continued, my body is like a symbol tree which tricks many parrots, but the fruit of the tree is useless, just like the qualities in my body. Sajjan wanted to run away, but the Shabad had captured his mind. There was no place to run to. Guruji continued, I, the blind man, am carrying such a heavy load. My journey through the mountains is so long. My eyes can see, but I cannot find the right path. Oh, so how can I climb up and cross the mountain? Tears rolled from Sajjan's eyes. He could hardly breathe. What was happening to him, he wondered. Guruji continued, what good does it do to serve, to please, to display cleverness? Says Nanak, feeling the divine presence all the time, you will become free in this world. All the greed and the hardness in Sajjan melted by his endless tears. Finally, he looked up and saw Guruji lovingly smiling at him. At that moment, Sajjan knew that a true man of God was sitting before him, and he had a priceless opportunity to change the direction of his life. He fell at Guruji's feet, hands folded and head bowed. I have something to tell you, he sobbed. My name is Sajjan, but I'm a friend and helper only in name. I am actually a thief and a murderer. I am like the bronze you sing of, but my heart says that with your grace I can become a good person. Please teach me how to truly serve all creation while remembering God in all that I do. Please, please help me, he pleaded. Guruji put his hand on Sajjan's head and let him cry. He knew Sajjan was speaking the truth and was truly very sorry. How can I live with myself? I'm so ashamed of all the terrible things that I have done. I have caused pain to so many people. How can I lighten this heavy load of horror I have collected? Can I ever be forgiven? Please show me the way, my Guru. You are my one true friend. You've made me realize how much goodness I was stealing from myself by robbing others. Help me. Please help me. I will do all you tell me to do. Sajjan begged as tears continued to roll down his cheeks. Very gently, Guruji said, Sajjan, bring me all that you have stolen. Sajjan ran and brought all the jewels and money that he had stolen and placed them before Guruji. Tomorrow morning, go and distribute all this to the needy people in town, said Guruji. The very next day, Sajjan went into town and gave everything away. The people were shocked by his actions. Thank you, Sajjanji. You are truly a very, very kind and generous man, everyone kept saying. But Sajjan was not happy to hear their compliments. He did not say anything. In fact, he was feeling miserable. He just wanted to quickly get rid of the money and jewels and get back to Guruji. Guruji, I have done as you have asked me to do, he said, rushing back. Do you think I can ever be forgiven? What else can I do? Please, please tell me. Sajjan, you must now break down this false mansion and with your hands build a dharamsala where people can find true comfort and rest. Work honestly in your fields and use the money you make from your labor to serve all who come to the dharamsala. Become a true friend and helper to all. See God in everyone and serve everyone like you are serving God. With folded hands, Sajjan bowed deeply before Guruji. When he got up, he knew life had truly come to him, and Sajjan was a new man from then on. The end.